Hey, welcome to the next episode. Basic JavaScript, manipulate arrays with push. So an easy way to append data to the end of an array is via the push function. Push takes one or more parameters and pushes them onto the end of an array. So this essentially adds an element or several elements to the end of an array. So here they want us to add on two elements, add one element, which is a two-element array, onto the end of my array. So my array, we're going to push the array dog 3. I think this is ages of the animals. John 23, John's an animal. Humans are animals. Cat 2, dog 3 will be the new element on the end of the array. Another way to change the data in an array is with the pop function. So pop is used to pop a value off the end of an array. So this pop removes the last element, and it returns the last element also. So it's a function, an array function .pop that takes no arguments. You keep the bracket empty, and it will remove the last element of the array and return it. So you can also assign a variable to it. So here we're assigning remove from array to the value removed, and they want us to pop it off, no homo, .pop. So that will now equal the last element of the array, and the last element will be removed from the array. So it does two things. Pop always removes the last element of an array. What if you want to remove the first? That's when you use shift. Shift removes the first. Same as pop, but it now removes the first one. So now we can do remove from array is going to equal my array.shift. And this will remove John 23 from the array. The array will now have one element being dog, 3. The one element being an array itself with two elements. And remove from array will equal the first element, which is an array containing two elements, John and 23. So there you go. Not only can you shift elements off of the beginning of an array, you can also unshift elements to the beginning of an array, i.e. add elements to the front of an array. So this is the opposite of shift. It's kind of like pushing, but pushing to the front. So you have push and pop, and you have shift and unshift. So push adds it to the end, pop removes it from the end, shift removes it from the beginning, unshift adds it to the beginning. So they want us to add Paul 35 to the beginning of my array using unshift. So my array dot unshift Paul 35. You actually don't need semicolons, but you're supposed to use them just for readability, or that's what people say at least. But JavaScript actually does not require semicolons. Fun fact. But you need to go to the next line, I believe. Create a shopping list in the variable myList. It should be a multi-dimensional array containing several subarrays. And put 5 things in it. So here's an application of multi-dimensional arrays. I need organic greens, four bins of organic greens. This is my actual shopping list. Organic bananas. I need like 20. Grass-fed beef. Need 2 pounds. organic celery, 4 bunches. Organic carrots, I need 8 pounds. So that's actually what I need to buy today. It's expensive as fuck. This is gonna cost 20 to 30 bucks. It's gonna cost, I don't know, maybe 10 bucks. It's gonna cost me 20 bucks. This will cost me 15 bucks. This will cost me 12 bucks. But I can make a shitload of really healthy celery and carrot juice, eat a bunch of salad, bananas, and very high quality meat. There you go. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. In JavaScript, we can divide up our code into reusable parts called functions. Here's an example of a function. Function name with a open close bracket, then a curly bracket with a curly bracket designating the section of the function where you write what the function does. This is going to display console.log hello world, which displays hello world to the console. Here it's going hey world, which is a typical coding thing to print to the screen as a test. You can call or invoke this function by using its name followed by parentheses like this. So we're going to call the function name with the arguments being no arguments in this case. We're calling function name like that. So here you can see we made a function called our reusable function. It logs to the console hey world. Then we define the function, then we call the function, and you can tell it's working correctly by displaying to the console what we wanted it to, hey world. So now it wants us to create a function called reusable function, which prints to the console hi world, and then it wants us to call the function, so reusable function. Then you can see it goes at the bottom there. It worked. Okay, now we're going to pass values to functions with arguments. Parameters are variables that act as placeholders for the values that are to be input to a function when it is called. When a function is defined, it is typically defined along with one or more parameters. The actual values that are input or passed into a function when it is called are known as arguments. Here is a function with 2 parameters, param1 and param2. Function test fun, param1, param2, console.log, param1, param2. So here it prints out the 2 parameters. Then we call test fun, and you can write whatever 2 words you want. I'll print them to the console. So we're going to create a function called function with args. That accepts 2 arguments. Let's call them arg1, arg2. And it outputs their sum. So we're going to go console.log arg1 plus arg2. So let's do function with args of 2 and 3. 5, 2 and 7, 139. Here wants us to do 1, 2 equals 3. So there we go. In basic JavaScript, scope refers to the visibility of variables. Variables which are defined outside of a function block have a global scope. This means they can be seen everywhere in your JavaScript code. Variables which are used without the var keyword are automatically created in the global scope. This can create unintended consequences elsewhere in your code or when running a function again. You should always declare your variables with var. So here, we're going to define a global variable. So variables which are created without the var are automatically global. So that means if you're within a function and you use var, that makes it a local variable. So putting the var will make it a local variable if it's within a function. So that's a good thing you want to do. Typically, there's more detailed variable define operators, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. But for now, just understand that within a function, if you put the var here, it is not global. And if you don't put the var here, it is global. So now output will be defined not just in function 2, but in the entirety of this code here. So here we're going to test if type of global is not undefined, output is going to plus equal my global. It's my global. Output's currently an empty string. If type of oops global is not equal to undefined, output will equal oops global plus oops global. So function fun1 wants us to assign oops global as a global variable. So we just don't use the var keyword. Oops global equal 5. So, and now outside of the function, let's go var my global equals 10. So you can see here it's just determining the type of it's making sure it's not an undefined variable. So if I would have just done this, there's no type yet. Now as type is a number. JavaScript's very simple. It just has number as a type or string or Boolean or null. But then you have decimal numbers and you also have integer numbers. So this should work. Hope that was clear. That was a bit like a nuanced point, but if you want to go back and do that one a few times or just think about it, it'll become obvious what it means pretty soon. So thank you for watching this segment of the lecture series on basic JavaScript. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave a comment. You can send me an email, and like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.